We want to talk about a point that you made. It sounds like you had amazing neighbors that really rallied behind you and your family in a time of crisis. But what you touched on is a reality for many Americans living paycheck to paycheck, one disaster away, really, from bankruptcy. And I want to talk specifically about some issues. According to a March 2023 poll from The Economist and YouGov, these are five of the most important issues facing Americans now: healthcare, jobs and the economy, national security, inflation and prices, and crime. So, what would you do to specifically work on these issues, and which ones matter to the people of Missouri the most?
Well, for us, it's about having control over our lives and the resources to make the decisions that we need to make to run our lives the way we want to run them, right? And what you've seen politicians really from both sides of the aisle, but I mean, Josh Hawley's been a really terrible example of this, taking a lot of money from the wrong people and using that money to destroy our ability to take care of ourselves. You know, when he was our attorney general, he led a lawsuit to make sure that Missourians couldn't get overtime pay. Like, talk about stabbing working class people in my old neighborhood in the back. I mean, one of the ways that we really are able to try to just squeak out ahead of being paycheck to paycheck is by getting overtime pay. He just does things like thing after thing like that for his big donors and doesn't take care of us. And so for me, one of the most important things about my campaign, one of the things that I think is most broken in Washington and our politics, is who funds the campaign. And so in my campaign, I take no money from federal lobbyists. I take no money from corporate PACs. I take no money from big pharma executives, no money from big fossil fuel executives, none from these people who I believe are forcing our politicians or convincing them to make decisions that don't work for the rest of us and leave neighborhoods like the one I grew up in behind. Leave us in situations. I mean, you mentioned crime, like my old neighborhood. The lack of opportunity there is the reason why that gas station, the corner store we used to go to, has been robbed so many times was robbed so many times that it couldn't get insurance to stay open anymore, right? These are the type of things that we have failed everyday Americans on, and I believe it's because who runs our campaigns. And so for me, corruption and campaigning is the top issue that can help us get ahead of all of these things. And Josh Hawley is one of the worst career sort of corrupt politicians that we have.